Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're at Antill Park Golf Course, which is my home course. We are on day 76 of the challenge to try and shoot an even par round within a year, going from a 21 handicap. Prior to this round, I had felt a few things coming together, so I thought I wanted to get a round on camera. Here we are, starting off with a smaller par 5 at 403 metres. Looking back in the camera, it seems I lost my balance a bit on this drive, but we're okay, just in the right rough. With around 160 metres into the pin, I take the 7 iron and try and aim a little bit left of the flag and go over the trees. The shot makes it over the trees, but fades a bit to the right to be just off the green. From just off the green, I take a pitching wedge. With the greens recently being called, I didn't quite get the speed right. That's the excuse I'm going with anyway. Again, I don't quite get the speed right. It is quite slow with a lot of sand on the surface. But it's nice to have a small tap in for a first hole par. We move on to the 354 metre par 4, which does have trouble down the left hand side with a dam. I hit a snap hook, but luckily it hits the trees and doesn't make it to the dam. With no hope of making the hole here, I just take a 4 iron and look to punch it down the fairway. I sprayed a little bit right, but we're in an okay spot. The lie ended up being pretty good, so with 92 metres to go, I take the sand wedge. I make nice contact, I put it on the green, which gives me an uphill putt for par. I leave another putt a little bit short, but have a small tap in for bogey, which I'm pretty happy with after my tee shot. The third is a 329 metre par 4 from the socials today. It is a narrow fairway with trouble down the left and trees on the right. I have taken everything from driver to 7 iron on this tee and I still haven't quite figured it out. I end up hitting a decent drive, but it just goes a little bit too far and we're just under a tree. I didn't have the best lie here, so with 100 metres to go, I try and play a little pitching wedge. I send it a little to the right, but it gets a really good kick off the bank of the bunker and leaves myself a short putt for birdie. Hopefully I don't leave another one short. And we just trickle it in to get our shot back with a birdie, back to even. The par 4 fourth measures in at 280 metres, but I can't take driver off the tee because the green is protected by the dam. So I take the 6 iron and hit a nice shot which lands in the middle of the fairway. With 84 to go, I'll normally take a lob wedge, but I had a bit of wind coming into me. And with the lake here, I didn't want to be short, so I went with the sand wedge. And I hit a decent shot, and we're on the green putting for birdie. Let's see if we can make 2 birdies in a row. Nope, I send this one sailing past. I'll be lucky to make par now. I hit a nice putt here, but just doesn't quite want to go in. Never nice when you're putting for birdie and you end up with a bogey. Now on to our first par 3 of the day, measuring in at 130 metres. The wind is coming into me, but I opt to take a pitching wedge and hit it hard. And I hit it really well. Goes a little bit right, but we're on the green. We leave ourselves with a similar distance putt from the last hole, but this one is sloping a little bit from right to left. I hit a nice putt which just slides by the right edge. Tap in for par though, we'll take that. The 6 is another short par 3 measuring in at 110 metres. I take a pitching wedge and try and take a little bit off it. I end up taking too much off it and we're in the greenside bunker. Bit of an awkward stance here. My aim was just to get it somewhere on the green. Pretty happy with that one from that position. We find ourselves with about 6 or 7 metres to go to save par. I think the chord greens are actually helping my putting, which may be strange to some people, but I'm putting the best I have in a long time. We'll take a bogey and move on. Now onto the longest hole on the course, a 509 metre par 5. I'm not sure why, but it's rare I get a good drive away on this hole. Today will be no different, with me sending it right. And this is where the controversy starts, and I play the wrong ball. Although at the time I had no idea, I didn't realise I played the wrong ball until my second shot on the next hole. But I am trying to punch it up the first fairway, which runs parallel to the 7, which then I can hopefully have a shot over the trees and get it back on track. I push my punch way too far right. I end up in the right rough at the first hole. So I've got about 190 metres over the trees to get to the green on the 7. I take a 5-iron and somehow hit a cracker, which is on line, and it leaves me just off the green, chipping for birdie. I follow that shot with a great chip, and it leaves me only a short tap in for par. At this point, I thought it was the best par I've ever made, still not knowing that I played the wrong ball. The 8th is a pretty straightforward par 4 measuring in at 342 metres. I take driver and try and give it a rip. I think I get a little quick on this one and I hit another slice out to the right. Just previous to here is where I realised that I played the wrong ball. I drove over to the first and found my ball in the middle of the fairway, which would have been a better position than the ball I actually played. Anyway, here I took a 4-iron and just tried to punch a 4-iron under the trees through to the green. The ball just ran through the green and left me with a delicate chip, which I don't hit hard enough and leaves myself a long putt for par. This putt is a little downhill, sloping left to right. And somehow I make it, and by the look at my face, you can just tell I'm surprised, because my putting is normally hopeless. I think they need to call the greens every couple of weeks for me. On to our last hole of the day, a short par 3 measuring in 110 metres. I take a pitching wedge, and I try and take a little bit off it. I hit a decent shot, which just carries the bunker. Ends up a little bit short of the pin, but it gives me a putt for birdie. Another 6 or 7 metre putt with a little bit of left to right in it. Which I leave short, but leaves me a couple of feet to save par. So, although it wasn't legitimate due to me playing the wrong ball back on the 7th, I'm pretty happy that this has been the best I've ever played on 9 holes, and it's good to see some improvement. And for those who made it this far, thanks for watching.